Paul was just coming off Fast Five. He wanted to do something where he was the lead. He wanted to do something with more of a character arc. He got to do a lot of his own stunts. They're shooting at him, and then you see all the aisle stuff exploding.
I don't know. I like playing roles where guys are up against all odds. Like just all the cards are stacked against them. Guys, he's screwed up a lot in life, and I think a bit of a rain cloud follows him around wherever he goes. But no matter how hard he tries to do right, it always ends up wrong. He's just one of those guys.
Vehicle 19, like the whole thing takes place in a minivan, and you shot it in that one location. You're confined to this minivan, and everything you shot was inside of that, which was really cool, really unique, and just gave, I think, a different perspective for the viewer's sake, because you're viewing it in that van with him as he's going through it. When you were writing that, were you literally going, "Hey, I'm making this so I can shoot this and get the money for it, even if we do it super small"?
I didn't. I wrote. There's like a line in the Vehicle 19 script, like I think it's page 2. It's as he walks inside the car, and then there's a line that says, "And for the rest of the movie, we never leave the inside of this car." So that was always a conceit that I had, to stay with him throughout the entire movie, because he's in the car, and to never leave that. And it wasn't actually a financial consideration. That was just like a writing conceit and a kind of a creative decision, because I thought, just stay with him, because as the pressures just like come, squeeze in on him, we're meant to be there with him. There's no real escape. I mean, you actually, in the movie, you see you can shoot through all the windows, so you actually have a lot of room, and you'd be surprised at how actually not so stuck. It's not like Buried, where a guy's in a coffin and you've literally got nowhere to go. I can still drive and have landscapes and sunrises and things like that. But I definitely wanted to, you're trying to do something new. It's hard to capture people's attention. People are so saturated with so many things these days. So you got to do some interesting things. And that was my attempt to kind of have a fresh take on, that kind of a movie.
Yeah, I liked it, man. I thought it almost puts you in it almost makes you feel a little claustrophobic.
Yeah.
Because you're in this, and then you watch, the girl's out and she's talking to the guy, comes back in, you see the chases all within that field of vision, and then even when he gets shot in the car, I mean, you're seeing it from just that perspective. Let's talk a little bit about Paul Walker. Was he your original person that you wanted to get involved and play this part? How did that kind of come to you, or how did that kind of transpire?
Yeah. Well, Paul was just coming off Fast Five, which was huge. And he wanted to do something where he was the lead, and he wanted to do something with more of a character arc. And so Peter Safran, who was the producer, had been involved with him on another movie. And so he suggested him, and I was like, yes, of course, because I knew that would get us greenlit and we could go. And he did great. He got to do a lot of his own stunts. Shooting in South Africa is much easier than shooting in LA. It's like there's a lot more freedom, and he really enjoyed that. And also, actors don't like shooting for like 3 hours and spending 7 hours in their trailer. It's like boring. And here he was pretty much every day up, running every shot and done. So, and he was in Cape Town. I mean, Johannesburg. It was great. It was great.
Is that your hometown?
I'm from Cape Town. Yeah, I know. I'm from Cape Town, but we shot in Johannesburg.
Okay. And when you were shooting that, were you there at the time, or were you already got to the States and you were just
Oh
putting
no,
this
no,
project?
I've only been in the US now for 7 years, and I shot Vehicle 19, I think 10 years ago. So I was still living down there. Yeah, that was kind of my break into Hollywood. Really, that script got me noticed, got me agents and managers, got me around town, and then the movie coming out doing well got me more projects, and so that, and then I moved because traveling back and forth to LA is a trip. So yeah, that was my breakthrough movie.
Nice. So it led to, I want to say, bigger things, but that was a really cool project. When you were writing that, you knew you wanted to stay confined, you were saying, into this
Yeah.
van. How did you manage to kind of work out those chases? Were you on the fly when you were directing that? Because that was really cool the way you were shooting. You shoot into the windows, you're seeing the cars, you're seeing his perspective of it. Did that kind of already, you had that vision, you were stuck on that plan that you had, or did you allow things to flow?
You mean with where the camera was?
Yeah, yeah. How do you normally
Yeah, what
go
I
into?
had to do is a lot of this. It's actually really tricky because so car chasing, outside the car everything looks faster. Actually, inside it slows it down. So what I had to do was I had a lot of stuff flying at the windows. Like he goes through the scaffolding at one stage, and those bars are hitting the front windows. So I had to kind of create the speed and the tension from outside because I couldn't go outside with the camera because of the conceit of staying inside. So I had to design the action sequences so more stuff was happening outside that was looking fast. So to create that pace and tension, it's actually difficult. And I had the motorbikes rearing up in front of the front window and the side windows, and then him getting spun around. It's actually much easier to shoot the action outside the car.
Camera's on me while a lens is going out, because this is a small film and we have to get it in a short period of time. I have to act while doing this, right? Which I've never had that before. So I'm doing this, and the guys that are coming head on at me see this panicked face.
I had to put a lot of the action outside with me being inside and seeing that action. Like he drives through the supermarket window, and he's driving through the aisles and then they're shooting at him, and then you see all the aisle stuff exploding on the aisles because his face here, and then over here is all the stuff exploding because the outside is happening fast. It's kind of a technical thing, but it is actually much harder to shoot the action inside the car than I thought. So we had to do a lot on the outside to make it sing.
Gotcha. And was that difficult for you on the aspect of, I would say, so dealing with stunts aspect? Because I dabble in stunts a little bit. I train a little bit here with the dead man and the fight stuff and all that. What was it like working with the stunt team there, and what issues did you run into during that process? Was there anything there that really stands out in your brain from the shoot?
Well, it's money. It's always money, it's just money. And then so you want to do something big, and then there's the monies for something small. So someone getting hit by a car rolling on the trunk and then smashing that window. So each window smash is expensive. The stunt guy can't get hurt. It's just a matter of money. Money makes things bigger, and it's particularly with stunts because there's only so much that the stunt people can do with a certain amount of money. There's not exactly, well, if I frame, it's like it becomes a money question. So for me, it's frustrating because you always, when you're writing, you think big. Like I had it where the car flips and then the truck comes and the truck hits the car in the midair, and then that car flies into the street side shop and crashes into that. So that's expensive. But it's how many cars can you make hit that truck? How many trucks can get hit? It's each truck's expensive, each car's expensive, each window that is going to crash into is expensive. So, and these things take some takes to get right. If the car flips, but then it just clips the nose and it kind of falls on the ground. Okay, that's one. The car flips and then it smashes into the truck window and doesn't bounce off. Okay, that's take two. And each time it's expensive. So you're on take 5. And then you've got helicopters and all of these things. It's a money thing. It's a money thing. Particularly action. Action is money. Like drama is not so expensive, but action is money. And it's a nature of the commercial arts. You know, it's not. There was a time when artists they had patrons who would be given budgets to do whatever they wanted because people really respected their arts and they thought their arts had value in the world, so they would pay for the artists to do and let the artists have the freedom to do what they wanted to do. But now it's commerce, it's commercial, so it's a business. So the business people are putting restrictions on the amount of money spent because they want their return. So it's a negotiation, which is part of the reality of directing.
Kind of like a bit of give and take is what you're saying to the process of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, and you know, margins, and you know, the artist isn't free, he's beholden to the person paying. I mean, I'm not complaining, it's just the nature of it.
Yeah. And it seems like, so what you were saying is you'll write the story on how you see it, but then when it comes to,
Yes.
I
Yes.
guess, a line producer, you're like, all right, well, let's start making concessions. Is that how you approach it?
Yes, exactly. I just writing a script now where someone goes over a waterfall.
We have to do something.